Okay, go for it.
All right, Brian. So, last time we had a pre-show, I asked about what would be like your favorite like power system, and you answered Ned, right? And I had my reservations about Nen personally because I think it's too volatile for it to be a system to live in. And this is my main reason. I've started learning a lot about learning more about the idea of post-mortem Nen through YouTube videos from your recommendations, guys. Thanks. Shout out to World Review or whatever the guy's name is. He has the whale in his.
Yeah, New World Review or something.
Yeah, New World Review. Yeah, I try not to watch too much, but definitely all the older stuff to catch up. Anyway, listen, postmortem then is incredibly powerful.
Yep.
Like it can be world shaking levels of like strength. So when you think about Spanish women, right, and like imagine the postmortem then, right, from like from crazy like Spanish women getting so upset at their like what I'm saying at their
Yeah.
husbands or whatever over shit
Yeah, I think like Spanish
that
women
like
get
they
postmortem nen by default.
but that's my thing, right? Like they hold on to it,
Mm-hmm.
so they go through their whole life, live a nice regular full life, and then when they finally pass, shit is unleashed.
Mm-hmm.
That's a scary thought. You seen that man get drop kicked, right? Where you think she had all that power from?
She's an enhancer for
That
sure,
was
right? That
postmortem then from her ancestors, her past abuelas,
is
abuelitas.
that Abuela nen?
Yeah,
The Meteor City Nuke, Nen.
Yeah.
yeah. That wasn't as well thought out as I thought it would be, but
No, I
yeah,
think it makes sense.
how I wanted to start out
Yeah.
this show.
Yeah, we took a week off because life got in the way. So, how are you?
Yeah,
How are you boys?
circumstances.
I'm chilling like a villain.
I'm good,
Me too.
pretty good.
Me too. I don't know if this is happening to you guys, but like, I don't know the amount of, no matter how much sleep I get, I'm always just tired the next day.
I sleep a little too much.
I had a good night's sleep yesterday. I had a good solid amount of sleep, and I am still
Yeah,
like exhausted, like for the first time in a while. But maybe it's a consistency thing. Maybe I need to go to sleep earlier, more often.
this
Tried
weekend
that.
was daylight savings.
That's true. Did we lose that hour or gain
And
an hour? I think we lost an hour, right?
we gained that hour. We
Shit.
gained that hour.
I definitely
So we
told
had an
told
extra hour of sleep.
I definitely told everybody I knew who asked that we lost an hour.
Yeah,
Fucked up, Chris.
well, we're rewinding the clock back
Mm-hmm.
an hour instead of forward, so it kind of feels like you're losing because you're going back. So I'm not, unless you just genuinely had it mixed up.
I definitely, maybe I got it mixed up, but I feel like the logic of my thinking is that in theory, I'm always waking up earlier than I would be because we're back an hour. But that means I did gain an hour, I guess. I have an extra
So
hour.
your work, you're waking up later.
Wait, am I waking up later?
Yeah. So all right, think like. Well, first of all, the easiest way to remember this, everybody, is that for daylight savings time, I have a choice here, right? In the fall, the time falls back an
Mm-hmm.
hour. In the spring, the hour springs forward. That's like an easy way to remember, like if it's going back and forth.
I never heard of
Because
it
it's
that
easy
way.
to forget
That's a
it.
good way to remember it. Why
Yeah.
do we do
My
this?
grandmother told me that.
Why do we do this to ourselves?
They don't do it in Arizona,
Why?
That's interesting.
Arizona thinks it's
I
special or
didn't know that.
something?
I guess.
They don't get to
Well,
travel
maybe
back and forward
Brian
in
could
time?
look it up on a technical level, but what I've learned is that it had a lot to do with like farming, like in agriculture.
Hmm.
Basically, like it was something they're manipulating the time so that we have the most available time in the sunlight like to work, to work the land or whatever.
Oh.
Obviously, it became much less of like an issue with all these lights and shit we have now, but
Yeah.
some areas don't have that much light, so it helps them. What I'm not sure about if this is a global thing.
Yeah, that's a good question. I actually don't know if it's a global thing. Right, could you check to see if everybody celebrates this, or just celebrates, or goes through this, does this thing to themselves?
What, daylight savings?
Yeah, if everybody in the world, if it's like a global thing.
Only about a third of the world's countries practice daylight savings
What the
time.
hell's going on here? If only a third of us are doing it, it feels like not worth it. Most people are not doing it in theory in that case.
In my opinion, it's not worth. All right, like selfishly speaking, it's not worth gaining that extra hour, knowing that we have to lose it later on.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's not gonna feel like an equivalent exchange. Like, oh, we've been having an extra hour, and now we're gonna go back to normal. We're gonna feel that that loss of an hour because our schedules are gonna like adjust. We're gonna have to wake up earlier than we usually do, than our bodies are used to. Your bodies wake up at certain times if you're used to waking up, right? Like even on a
Yeah,
day
yeah.
off.
There's a biological clock.
On Sunday morning, y'all should have felt that. Like if you didn't have an alarm, you should have woke up and realized, it's a little earlier than I'm usually up. Like I woke up around like 5 something, and I was like, yes, because usually I wake up around like 6:30 and hit snooze a few times.
Yeah, don't we all?
Yeah. So yeah, losing that hour sucks. It's
Yeah.
gonna suck in the springtime, and it sucks either way you look at it. If it's on the weekend, you lose an hour of your free time. If it's on a work day, you lose an hour of sleep for work. It's terrible.
Man, well, we learn something new every day here at the pre-show chat show.
We had a good amount of questions.
We do. We have like a
Last time,
backlog
Harry.
now. I'm gonna get into it in a sec. Let me just write this down. We do have a bunch of questions. Thanks to Mike B. We could get into them now. So this is from September 25th. I think he sent this on a Wednesday because Mike B starts us off by wishing us a happy hump day. He says, "I hope you're feeling good this week and feeling accomplished." Brief thought in the question. He says everyone is saying that everyone was saying in the last episode that Jujutsu Kaisen should go on longer, and that it's sad that it's ending. While I agree that it's sad that it's finishing so soon, it's better that it ends with us wanting more than it coming back and not being as good. It's kind of like Futurama. The original run was amazing, and for years I wanted more Futurama. And then as we got more movies and seasons, the quality just kept not living up to the OG. And now I really wish they just left it alone. He says, piggybacking off of that, which series should have ended earlier than they did?
Promise Neverland.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was the first thing that came to my
Yeah,
mind. That's
Promise
so crazy.
Neverland.
That's so crazy.
Probably, yeah. Promise Neverland is up there. This may say, I guess Food Wars. I didn't really like the last arc.
You know what? All right, hold on. Before we do this, let's just try to frame this a little bit better, right? Well, I don't know. I want to have more of a clear frame so we're all on the same page, right? Now, I think there's a difference between something that was. Nah, am I about to just be chatting? All right, I'm just gonna.
Are
say
you
it
just
now.
gonna
Let's
yap
just keep
right
it on
now?
that. Yeah, hold on. Just listen. So, is there a difference if like a series went on like was good up to a certain point, then wasn't that good, and then it's like it's not that I wish that it was shorter. It's that like I wish better decisions were made. Where there are probably other series that you felt pretty good about, and you're like, man, it just probably would have been better without that. but it didn't sour this. All right, I'll give you an example. I think Ice Shield 21 is a good example of that based on what you've told me, Chris.
Yeah, I
Apparently
agree.
the last
I was
game
thinking of,
isn't even.
yeah, I was thinking of saying Ice Shield. Just because like that last arc feels kind of like unnecessary. I mean, it's cool to a level, but I don't know. There was just something about it that was off.
I'll have another candidate, but unfortunately, I didn't read it. It's only from what I've like heard from other people and what I've seen from YouTube videos. But Yu Yu Hakusho, apparently it kept going longer than the author wanted it to, and it ended up like ending very like kind of blandish. But the
Yeah.
last couple arcs were really good. Like I thought the last arc was the one with the previous spirit detective, the kickball dude.
Yeah, that was
But
pretty
there's a
much
whole
the
nother
second to last arc. And then there's one last
yeah.
epilogue type arc after.
Yeah, the three kings or something like that, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't remember all that much from that arc. I remember reading it when because it was being published in like the physical jumps that I would collect. So I definitely read it. But I don't remember much of it, and I think like there is something to it that it was probably just kind of an epilogue type arc that wasn't part of Togashi's plans originally. But I don't know. I know Mike B is a big Yu Yu Hakusho fan, and if he remembers, he should chime in and let us know what he remembers. After I finish the gaggle of series that I've promised myself that I'm going to finish, I would like to read Yu Yu Hakusho again.
I have another one.
What?
What's that?
Naruto.
You know what?
Controversial.
I thought about that, and I was like, you know what? I don't know if that's true. I don't know if I feel that in my heart. It's not that Naruto was like too long. I think it just focused on the wrong things.
The end, like the
That's exactly
fourth
how I
Ninja
feel.
War was pretty sick, and then like Kaguya showed up, and
You
I
know
was
what?
like,
Yeah,
okay.
I'll say that. Yeah, I think you're right.
The series legit did not need that to happen in that moment. She could have been a movie villain, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know if that's because the series was too long, but or it was like Josh said that was just like a weird choice at the end. But it didn't elongate the series that much. It wasn't like a whole.
They could have beat Madara. Naruto and Sasuke would have fought, and the series could have ended the same way.
I agree with that. Trust me, I'm no fan of the Otsutsuki stuff.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, Brian, but I just think I would also just add that, decisions were weird. The Ninja War itself wasn't great. I wish, like Chris said, I wish all of that time put into Madara and Kaguya. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't personally. I know this isn't a popular opinion, but I didn't think Madara was the coolest villain ever. I think it was awesome that they brought him back and that he was wilding out on everyone. But like, I was kind of happy he wasn't the last villain, but I wish it wasn't Kaguya. Just, I don't know. I just did not like the way it ended, man. Wasn't feeling it.
Yeah, to me, I mean, I found Madara as the final villain to make sense, and it worked to some degree for me. But he was the final villain, and for whatever reason, they decided to not make him the final villain. And I don't know if it's because he already had plans to like expand into the spinoff or what, but and so he needed the Otsutsuki to be kind of like an expansion point.
Maybe I could really see that being the case. Like where he wanted to like, the way he even drew the characters like when they were older with the kids, before I've looked at it like, he just did that, for the fan service, and then Boruto came after the fact, but that was probably all set up. They probably knew like, yeah, you're not gonna end this, bro. Like this is too successful. Like you could either keep your series pushing or you could start over with Boruto. I think that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I don't know.
Kishimoto was like, nah, I want to try to do my own thing. Y'all could do y'all thing with this Boruto shit. Use AI and this weird leg artist. and the Samurai 8 failed, unfortunately. Anyway, just to crystallize the point, like I wish she would have focused more on like the side characters during the war. I wish they got a little bit more attention to detail, without so much focus on the most powerful characters in the series. So I got mixed feelings, Brian.
Yeah. But I don't think that's necessarily a wrong answer at all. I think like there's definitely a validity to Naruto either being too long or having a weird middle wedge choice being made that made it longer slightly, but yeah. We have another question here. Which characters would have the sickest jewelry if they got pulled into the real world? What pieces would they rock? Nami is so obsessed with money, I bet she'd rock everything from rings to grills. I think you're right about Nami. I could see
Crocodile.
Oh my god. Crocodile will be like frozen with all the ice.
Out. Yeah. You wouldn't know if his abilities was sand or ice or light.
Yeah. I think Crocodile has like
PGN. Do you think he's one of the fucking admirals, bro?
I think Crocodile already has like a ring on each finger. I'm just looking up to see. Yeah, he has a ring on each of his remaining 5 fingers. Except for his ring finger, funnily enough.
I think if Kurapika didn't care that much about like avenging the rest of his clan, like if he just said, you know, all right, I did enough. It is what it is, and decided to live a normal life, I think he'd put it on, yo. He get rubies and red diamonds.
I think Leorio would do it.
He's a doctor, right? Oh yeah.
I feel like he would do it. Shit. Of the 4 of them, I think Leorio is more likely to be a little more like frivolous with a bunch of money and buy a lot of stuff. I can see Itadori getting a nice chain on him.
Yeah.
Rocking a cool chain. I can see that. Gojo
for sure. He's already rich. He buys fucking.
Yeah, I would think that Gojo would already have a lot of rings, but you know, he's a fighter on a constant basis, so it'll probably get in the way.
Bro, Kenjaku? Like, imagine his goal was to be iced out instead of whatever the weird shit he was trying to do.
Yeah, it would have been an easier goal. He wouldn't have to destroy the world for it.
Damn, can we talk about it? Can we take a major detour and just talk about it real quick? I need some closure.
Yeah.
So, the merger thing.
Yeah.
It was just like whatever, right? Like,
well, it didn't get unleashed.
And by whatever, I mean like we definitely just kind of lost the plot on that one, right?
Well, the thing is that we'll just never know what it looks like because we don't know what would happen if it was unleashed because they stopped it from being unleashed. The point of it is that like nobody knows what would happen if regular humans were merged with Tengen. And that's why Kenjaku was doing everything out of this weird, morbid curiosity.
I'm gonna just express my feelings, and maybe you guys tell me how you feel. But like, I'm not upset that the merger didn't happen or whatever. More so that this was kind of like a plot point that was brought up a few times. So I guess how do I put it? It's kind of sad that Kenjaku went out the way he did. He kind of went out like a side villain ass character when he was pulling a lot of the strings. And I get that Sukuna was ultimately the big bad and deserved all of that attention in time, but this was clearly a result of Gigi, in my opinion, saying like, I'm gonna just wrap this up. I'm
Maybe.
not saying there was more for the character of Kenjaku to explore, but his motivation is just being like, I just want to see random shit happen. Like, that's fine, but I want to see the effects of it. And like, we didn't. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not. It's not like, oh, I wanted to see the merger so bad. It's that I wanted to see like what Kenjaku was ultimately planning behind all of this be unleashed in some sort of form. So it felt like I was robbed of that. That's how I'm feeling, man.
Yeah, I guess like Kenjaku just wanted to see what happened. So if he accomplished his goal, it was pretty much gonna wind up with him being like, "Yo, that's crazy."
It would have been cool for lore or something for like.
Yeah, I don't know. I think like
He didn't leave us with much, man. If you think about
he
it,
did not.
like,
He left us with
like, right?
yeah,
Like, curses are still gonna be out there, and they're gonna keep growing to be stronger and better, and train up more, you know, other sorcerers, and have more empathy for them, and etc. But like, he wrapped it up, man. He did that on purpose. He let certain shit go, and I'm resentful of that a little bit, just a little bit. And Mike, I think you're wilding. I don't think that it would have suffered for running longer unless Gigi truly was so bored of it. But it didn't feel like that to me.
yeah. I mean, that would be a top 10 question to ask Akutami. It's just like, why did you end it the way you did? Because I don't hate the Jujutsu Kaisen ending at all, and I feel like more than most people, I'm more kind of accepting of the lack of answers that we get and the lack of world building we got.
Yeah.
But I understand a lot of people's frustration with the fact that a lot of things that were introduced or built up were not really answered. Because in stories like this, it's weird to leave people with like no answers. You have to be very adamant about not answering anything.
Yeah, it was really abrupt.
Yeah.
Their ending was the most abrupt.
Yeah.
How ironic. How ironic.
Yeah. I
How
mean, it's one of the
ironic.
things where I was like, maybe I'm less affected by it because I feel like it was always on brand for Jujutsu Kaisen to end abruptly.
You said that mad early too, Chris. I will give you that. And probably you too, Brian. I didn't really believe it, but y'all would say like that. It gave you the vibes of a short and sweet series. Like, this wasn't meant to be dragged out. Like, he just had something he wanted to say, and that was that.
I think this is what Yu Yu Hakusho was supposed to be like. Like, it did everything it needed to do by the author's standards, and now you can finish and keep going. Who knows? Maybe Gege's next series is the next Hunter x Hunter, like for real, for real.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
the thing. I really do hope he comes back.
I feel like so much.
Fire.
I feel like so much of Jujutsu Kaisen was modeled after Hunter x Hunter. That ending without all the answers not being answered, all the questions not being answered, is kind of a mirror to the possibility of Hunter x Hunter ending without answers being given to us.
Yeah, like we'll never know about Gyro.
Yeah, that's a distinct possibility. Togashi is the only author I ever knew of that was like, hey, I may not be able to finish this. So in the event I can't finish it, this is the ending you should go with. And it's one of 4 endings.
Yeah, I seen a little video about that too. I didn't hear any of the endings though.
He only revealed one.
Just because.
He only revealed one.
Oh yeah, so it's
that
I think it starts with like, I don't want to say nothing. I heard one thing. I know what it starts with, and it's a very similar scene to the beginning.
Yeah, after I learned that
Just
that's not necessarily the canonical ending, it's kind of like the break in case of emergency ending,
yeah.
then I was okay with listening to it because in theory,
Oh,
if Togashi is able to continue on and finish the series, then that ending doesn't apply anyway. Because there's a possible that's just one out of a possible four apparently. So
so I want to ask questions about it without giving spoilers, mostly for the sake of everybody listening, because I don't want to put a don't listen at this point because I don't know when we're gonna come back from it. But were you satisfied with that ending personally?
I'll say it's a very jump ending.
Oh, so
So
very not Hunter x Hunter ending.
yeah,
That's not good.
I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's like a fine ending. You know,
In
it
this
makes
case,
sense.
I would argue an average ending for Hunter x Hunter is worse than a bad ending. Because a bad ending might still be crazy. That might get people upset, but it's still crazy because it's Hunter
Yeah, I
x
mean,
Hunter.
Hunter x Hunter is a very
A
anti-jump
vanilla
establish.
ending?
Yeah, it's a very anti-jump
Vanilla
establishment
ending.
series. So I don't think Togashi wants to go with this ending, but it is just the ending he'll have to choose if he's unable to finish, because it's the ending that seems to have like less need for context of previous events.
That sucks.
Yeah, I could just tell you guys. I mean, it's common knowledge.
I know the ending.
Brian knows the ending,
Oh.
but I could tell you,
Well,
Josh.
very light spoilers for everybody.
Very light spoilers for an ending that may possibly never come to pass.
With no context from right. That was what I was only worried about. Like in this, is there any type of clues at all?
Yeah,
that
it's a
might
very bare bones ending.
inform
It's
nothing that'll like that might possibly inform.
no,
certain
nothing in
storylines?
this informs what's happening on the boat right now or anything. There's nothing about this ending that really gives away any character's fate except for Gon's.
Gone.
Gone.
So yeah, light spoilers, I guess. But the one of the endings for Hunter x Hunter is that it takes place in like the distant future, and Gon's granddaughter is like doing the same fishing thing that Gon did, but for the opposite reason, right? So like she's doing it so she wouldn't have to become a hunter.
Really?
Yeah. And people are curious about it, yeah, about why she's doing it, and it's because she heard about Ging and like something like that. I maybe I'm misremembering that part. I don't know if you remember it, Brian, exactly.
I don't remember specifically.
I know it's like kind of a reversal that like she doesn't need to go. She doesn't have that same sense of adventure, and she felt it like kind of I guess cruel to leave people behind just because for selfish reasons of just wanting to explore like that, something like that. Meanwhile, Gon has regained use of Nen and is out there continuing his adventures as an old man. And that's pretty much it.
Oh, that's pretty uneventful.
Yeah, it's more, that's like that standard jump and the adventures continued type ending.
Yeah, if that was the actual ending, I might have to contemplate life.
I think the way I was heard it described to me when I was first listening to it about Gon's granddaughter, it was like, okay, I mean, I guess that's cool. The reversal. At least it's not the girl just being like, I want to be a hunter just like grandpa. You know what I mean? I think like that's at least a somewhat interesting spin on it. But that's about it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty how do I put it? It's a throwaway.
Yeah, it's
Whatever. It's not the real ending ever.
Yeah.
It won't be. I won't ever believe it. I'll just start writing Hunter x Hunter on my own.
I mean, we're getting it weekly.
Well,
For now.
it's fleeting, bro. It's fleeting.
Well, by with any luck, he'll finish an extra 10 chapters by the end of the year, and we'll have 10 extra chapters. And then maybe by
Yeah.
the end of those 10 chapters, he could finish 10 more chapters. I don't understand why he won't go monthly. Just go monthly, bro.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Go
Just make it
monthly.
50 pages.
Go monthly, and in theory, he has 20 chapters. That would be almost 2 years of content that he could put out monthly while he works on the rest.
Yeah. Oh, so we're only getting 10 chapters?
No, 20. He at the time he tweeted about it, he said he'd completed 20 and he hopes to finish 10 more by the end of the year.
Wow. He's incredible for that.
I mean,
I want to switch gears a little bit though.
Yeah.
I hope I'm happy it's here. But did y'all read the most recent chapters of World Trigger?
Yes.
I haven't. Well,
yeah, I've been
is there
keeping up.
One that released recently, or
one didn't come out this month.
It skipped this. Yeah, it skipped this month, but in October 3rd, 2 issues came out, and they were heavily centered around Wakamura.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah,
he was saying, "Yo, it was really good." You read that, Brian?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I've been waiting for them to pay off on the Wakamura stuff.
Yeah, I was dying to see. He's like, what does Osamu have that I don't?
Yeah, he used to really broke it down to him.
Mm-hmm.
That a piece of media is good when it makes you reflect, man. When it makes you think about yourself, and you're like, oh man, like there's certain maybe aspects of yourself you never really thought of looking in a certain way until it's expressed.
Mm-hmm.
In front of you. I'm not saying, oh, I felt like Wakamura or nothing like that, but just certain things about, that conversation they had about, I think what hit me the hardest, like what made me think the most about myself was when they were talking about I guess kind of staying in place, reasons why people might not be staying in place. And when he was talking about setting deadlines and goals, and it's easy if you don't really have a clear goal in mind to just kind of tread do life for better or worse, right? I don't think that's inherently bad, but if there's things you want to achieve and accomplish, it's obvious, but you gotta challenge yourself, and it's a lot harder to challenge yourself when you don't set any deadlines. So this gave me something to linger on and think about.
Yeah.
You're right back.
Yeah, he talks. We don't get to talk about World Trigger all that much just because our shows usually run long. So by the end of a show, we don't have a lot of energy, but we still read World Trigger, and it's one of our favorite series. But I wanted to look back to see exactly what he talks about, and it's the thing about Osamu is that he's just not afraid to just keep going for improvement. He knows
he's
that
also in a position where he has to he's kind of forcing himself to he's put in he has that that pressure to push him or whatever, and that's what Wakamura really lacked, that pressure to figure out what to improve on.
Yeah, he just doesn't have that fear of finding out whether he's competent enough, because even throughout the series, Osamu's biggest strength is that he doesn't have the ego about himself to even consider that he may not be good at something.
Yeah, he can just accept that and feel like, all right, I just need to get better at this.
Instead, he's like, I'm not good at this. This is a weakness in my game. So I'm going to seek out people who know better and learn from them. He's never embarrassed to ask. He's never going up to people and just struggling to even ask. He's very bold in trying to compensate for what he lacks, which is something that I think everybody can learn from. It's a good way to live life, and if you want to get good at something, it's good to learn how to not have that kind of ego about it. And I say that as someone who's like has difficulty asking for help and whatnot. So
Mm. Yeah, with me, like generally, I'm not afraid to ask questions, but I do feel insecure about certain things, and that will hold me back from like, I guess, like trying as hard as I could in certain situations. Um, but I feel like I've improved on that, like as I've gotten older in general. As do like a lot of people. You don't want to keep making the same mistakes, and you want to have growth.
yeah.
So put yourself out there and challenge yourself. I mean, he straight up told him though, like, you should start your own team. I don't know about all of that.
Yeah, he said start from zero, bro. Like you rely on your teammates too much. Maybe if you started your own crew.
Yeah, well, he doesn't. I think this is like kind of in between the lines, storytelling, where like obviously what Hugh say, he's coming off harsh, but he means well.
Yeah.
But this is, not everything he's saying is 100% valid. It has to be taken to heart, and that's one of those things.
Okay,
I think he could still do a lot for Team Katori while, you know, having more of an awareness of his flaws and what to try to start out with, and then kind of lean on his teammates to guide him a little bit more too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Katori's a beast though.
She sure is.
She got bigged up a lot in those in those 2 chapters, and it's scary because she can still be so much better. Let me ask you, if Couture goes against Kuga in a 10-round match, what do you think is gonna happen?
I'm sure Yuma is still a lot better than her. But
I think I give it like 3-7. Kuga, you know what I mean? I don't know, like I think she could take a few rounds off him. Kept fighting.
she adapts really quick though. That's the thing. Like after seeing Kuga use his like the string shit, like after seeing not Kuga, Osamu use the spider trap or whatever, she immediately almost adapted them perfectly during that match. So she's actually like an extremely capable fighter in like a 10-round match. I feel like she could probably adapt to Kuga like pretty quick. But Kuga also adapts, so I think that's a
Yeah,
tougher fight than the more you think about it.
I think this is how I look at it. I think if they fight 10 rounds, Kuga's still gonna come out on top for most of those rounds, if not all of them, right? At worst, maybe 5. Like he'll draw in a 10 out of 10 rounds. If there's 100 rounds, I don't know, man. I think it's gonna be way closer to even. That's just how I feel. I think she has a lot of, like I said, like a lot of potential. Especially out of like a lot of the other like upper B rank agents. The swordsman is pretty strong. The guy that goes to sleep and learns his all the techniques, but I think Couture is strong, can beat him. Anyway,
yeah. I mean, he's the number 4 overall attacker. Murakami, I think his name
yeah,
is.
he's tough. Yeah, one-on-one, one-on-one is tough to fight him. Couture is nice, yo.
She is nice.
She reminds me of Kuga in that sense, where like how adaptable she is. Like they both are.
Yeah, I feel like Katori is going to end up going along on the away mission. He's going to be one of the B rank agents chosen to go.
She might end up getting a black trigger at some point.
Well, somebody has to give up their life in order to give them a black trigger.
Yeah, bro. People are gonna die on the mission, man.
Someone's gonna sacrifice
Yeah.
themselves to give Kotori specifically.
It's gonna just happen like that. Like, I bet you it's gonna be Wakamura. It's gonna be crazy.
I think Wakamura is not gonna get in, and he's gonna form his own team when Kotori leaves.
Yeah, true that. Good point. That actually sounds way more logical. A billion times.
Yeah. All right. You want to do one more question, then we can start the main show?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, just to finish off this email. So Mike B asks, which characters make instant coffee and which ones take the time to brew a fresh espresso shot each morning?
Oh.
Man, instant coffee.
Naruto makes instant coffee.
Yeah, Naruto definitely makes instant coffee.
Robin brews coffee for sure.
Robin makes the coffee for sure. She makes an espresso shot every morning. I would say Nami would do it too. Maybe Brooke. He's a big tea guy, so I figure he's equally passionate about his coffee.
You're not gonna like to hear this, but Hisoka probably takes the time.
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that actually tracks. Itadori is definitely an instant coffee kid, but Megumi is not.
Obara, I don't know. It's a toss up.
I could see Nobara
Right,
taking the time and making some coffee for herself.
I could also see her doing the instant coffee if she's in a. She feels like she don't got time for all that.
Yeah, if she's in a mood.
I don't think she's that bougie.
No. Well, making just coffee is not it's not bougie.
I think there's something bougie about that. To make your own espresso shot.
Yeah, I mean that's just like putting some grounds in a thing and just making a
skill and knowledge.
Skill and knowledge to make it not to make an espresso shot. It's just coffee.
You know how to do it. Skill and knowledge, bro.
It's not skill and knowledge. It's literally just like you could brew. It's like you have a coffee maker. You just make a tiny little shot of espresso.
Where do you get the espresso from?
It's just Cafe Bustelo is espresso.
Oh. So instead of a whole cup of it, it's just a shot?
Yeah, just like a little, like just straight, no milk or anything. At least I think so.
People do that?
You know what?
A straight shot of espresso?
Yeah, people buy like little espresso
Oh my
shots.
God.
Yeah, well, like espresso is measured out in shots from what I understand. So, but I also don't actually know that much about
the
coffee. Yeah.
Oh, I mean to add to the cup with the milk or whatever. Right. That's how a latte is made. I mean, we talking about espresso shots or lattes, man.
You talk about espresso shot. That's what's detailed in the email.
Real people do that. Take just a shot of straight espresso and then go about their day.
Yeah, probably. Oh. Yeah, you could get a shot of espresso anywhere.
Yeah, me.
You could get one at McDonald's.
Or would you drink just that?
I've done it before. I had a shot of espresso. You don't take it like a shot, It's just like a tiny cup.
Yeah. But you drink it all at once, right?
No, you don't drink it all at once. You can take little sips.
Oh. What happens if you throw it back like a shot?
I wouldn't do it just because it's hot, and I feel like that would be deeply uncomfortable. I think you're not supposed to.
I wonder if Mike throws back shots.
Yeah, Mike, do you just throw back shots of hot espresso coffee?
Freshly grounded?
Yeah, freshly grounded. I'll tell you what, getting the beans and grinding those beans down, that's fancy. That's bougie.
Yeah, that's bougie as hell. That's exactly what I am at. I thought that's what you said.
No. You could do it with grounds, with just like already made grounds.
Brian, do you drink coffee?
Once in a while. I don't really drink coffee on my days off, though. It's mostly work days.
Are you an espresso child?
Nah, I like to drink my coffee, like regular
Okay.
coffee.
Yeah, same.
I get espresso all the time. I recently discovered that Starbucks does like shaken espressos, which I don't know what that means really, but it yeah, it gets me jacked up. I'm here for it.
That sounds intense.
Yeah, it might be intense. I've been told it's intense. It doesn't. I could still like sleep with that kind of stuff. I don't know.
Because you're Dominican.
Is it? Is that it?
Yeah, we have
Oh.
natural resistance to caffeine.
Yeah, I mean, like we do drink coffee at like 8 p.m. as just like a thing we do.
Maybe it's the mayonnaise.
What do you mean?
Mayonnaise?
The mayonnaise?
Yeah, like the amount of mayonnaise that's like consumed probably counteracts like
I'm
the caffeine in some kind of way.
mayonnaise?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Dominicans love mayonnaise. I put it in a lot of stuff, right? Like yeah,
No,
I use it for sauces and a lot of stuff.
I don't think so.
Mix it in the spaghetti.
No,
Well, we do not use it for spaghetti.
spaghetti.
I've seen the videos, man.
We use it for sandwiches.
Yeah, you know, like normal people. We're like normal people. We put mayonnaise on sandwiches. You
I'll
think
send you
Dominicans?
guys some videos.
I don't know, man. Maybe I don't know. I mean, I'm not well
Maybe this
versed
is what happens on the
I
island or
can't think
something.
of anything else we use mayonnaise for other
except
than
for sandwiches.
You could have said like
You know what's
you
crazy?
could have said anything.
Oh, I think neither of y'all said Dominican food the last time for your top 3. And
I did.
cheese is part of.
We both
Oh, did
did.
I put Dominican food in there?
Yeah, we both said it.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say
Yeah,
chimis
you
is
kidding
part
me?
of that. And
Chimi's
there's no
goes
way y'all
fucking
can.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chimi's is great.
And mayo ketchup sauce.
Mm-hmm. Mayo and spaghetti. How could you say that to us?
Yeah, I know. I was looking at videos on Instagram.
Mm.
It wasn't just a compilation of mayo dishes. It's just I happened to see a lot of Spanish dishes that had specifically Dominican actually that like
And mayonnaise.
use mayo. Like
Like
yeah,
what?
like they used it in the pasta.
Spaghetti.
Like they made like red sauce pasta, but they put some mayonnaise on it, I guess, to make it like kind of creamier, like the consistency or whatever.
I've never seen that.
I was thoroughly grossed out, but
I've never seen that. I know you hate mayonnaise. Josh hates mayonnaise. That's a fun fact about Josh.
yeah, I don't like it at all. So it mortified me. But I guess y'all gave me some kind of confirmation that it's not a every household situation.
Yeah, I don't think we ever did that in our house.
It's good to know. It fills me with hope.
Yeah, we're just regular degular sandwich mayonnaise on sandwich people. All right. Well, I guess that's good enough of an answer. I don't know how we got to mayonnaise, but
My fault.
no, you're good. All right. Well, that's it for now. We didn't talk about sports at all, really, but Cowboys lost.
I would rather not.
Cowboys lost again. Dak is out. It's very sad.
It is pretty sad.
Giants lost, but that's just kind of a default mode.
Or
I saw Danny Dimes truck a guy though. That was pretty cool.
yeah, that was pretty cool.
They should sign him for
pretty swag.
They should like sign him for 4 years more after that one.
The Lions are doing really good.
The Lions are doing
The
really
Bills are doing really good. Philly's doing good. Washington's doing good. 4 teams that I don't care for are doing really well.
At least the Niners are suffering.
They're 4-4 right now. They got a bye week, I think.
Yeah, they're on. I think they go back this week coming.
The Cardinals are what 5-4, and they're 4-4. They're right there. The division.
Cardinals are 5-4. Did they win this week?
Yeah, they beat the Bears.
Oh. Yeah, it's been weird for the Cardinals because every now and then they'll play like a really good game and then they'll just lose. They're like a very up and down team.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe they'll. I don't know. Maybe they'll show out. They
Yeah.
got a really good wide receiver.
Yeah, I
The
didn't.
rookie. We talked about him.
Yeah, I didn't really get a chance to watch any games this week, but the Knicks are doing well,
Yeah,
right?
just know. Yeah, they got a game tonight too. You're a Lions fan, bro.
Me?
All right, you're not. You're not a Lions fan. I wouldn't. It wouldn't be wrong if you were, though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, they're getting me. They're
truthfully,
slowly getting me. I might be a Lions
no.
fan this
Even the
year.
timing, like, if on some real shit, like, had you, like, if like when you watched that series, and then said, you know what, like, all right, I'm a root for the Lions too. You know, I like the Giants, but though, they probably not gonna do well. So let's see how the Lions do. If you had that type of attitude, you would have been there right before they started doing really well.
Hey, I always kept my
And
eye on them.
so I still kind of count that. Like you were telling me like at the beginning of the season, before, and this is before we really started talking football stuff. Like I'm really trying to give you some credit here. You said like, hey, like they beat the Chiefs that first game of the season. You was like they was looking good, man. They might turn it around. They had
This
they
year?
had a good culture or whatever. No,
Oh no, last
last
year.
year.
Yeah, they got a great culture, man. I don't know. They may be turning
And
me. I may
I
actually
was
be.
like, man, they ain't gonna do shit. I was talking all that shit, and now look.
Yeah.
They made it to the NFC Championship last season, and then now it looks like they're gonna go right back there.
I could see them getting knocked out by like Philly randomly.
I see Philly beating them too.
I would hope not, but I can see Philly beating them. Would that be that would be a rematch?
I guess I'd rather Detroit win
Yeah.
over the Eagles.
Yeah.
They already got a championship in this decade. Fuck them.
Yeah, they're done. They don't need it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's our little sports talk. We should do the main show. See you guys in the main show. Bye.
Peace out.